And real quick before we start, this video is going to be sponsored by Swagbucks. Swagbucks is a research website where you can earn rewards like real money or gift cards for things like RP, Amazon, and more in return for doing research surveys, watching videos, playing games, or even shopping online. I've been checking it out and it's really straightforward, and they've got tons of free ways to help you earn some nice rewards. You can sign up by clicking the link at the top of my description box and start earning some cash and gift cards. And actually they wanted to hook you guys up, so if you sign up with this link, you'll get a $5 sign up bonus for free, which you could use for RP. So check it out. Big thanks to Swagbucks for sponsoring our channel, and enjoy the video. What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. Today we're taking another look at some upcoming changes for League of Legends, and it's actually getting really exciting because Riot Meddler recently released a post and he's teasing all sorts of information about what's going to be coming in the mid-season update, which is I think going to be patch 8.11. So there's a lot to go through as always, so let's jump right into it. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it or let us know in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe for more videos. I promise I wouldn't say that if it didn't just like double the number of likes and comments we get, so thanks everyone for helping us out. Either way, our first update for today is actually a very interesting one, something that I thought might actually never happen, and it's that we're finally going to be getting an update to the in-game cursor. So Riot Meddler commented that League of Legends' cursor has been finally starting, or I guess has been for a while now, showing its age. So they're working on creating a new one with a bunch of internal testing. Now of course there were quite a few players who expected to see a new cursor alongside the way back in the day Summoner's Rift update. That was 4 years ago though, so it's interesting to see that Riot have only now recently decided to give it some thought. As with most updates like this, the internal testing actually will probably last for quite a while before it eventually releases to the PBE for player feedback. Riot is currently estimating that this will happen in maybe 1 or 2 months. They definitely want to do a good job with this cursor update since it's something that really everyone uses in the game. Riot Meddler mentioned that they are planning to take their time with this update because of how the change kind of impacts all the other things like the different interface elements, and players, every single player in the game uses that cursor for the most part. So everyone's kind of spent a ton of time getting used to the previous version and how it behaves. And so Riot, actually they've also confirmed that you'll be able to adjust the size of the cursor with the update. So that kind of hints at the fact that there will be a lot more customization when the cursor update is finally pushed through. With that out of the way, let's jump right into some of the upcoming mid-season changes, starting with some major changes coming to Marksmen. There's going to be a lot of base stat changes, so do note that these changes are targeted at bot lane AD carries, so Quinn, Graves, and Kindred are not going to be affected in terms of their base stats. First up, Marksman defenses are being reduced in the early game, but they will pick up more health later on to prevent them from being so easily one-shottable in the late game. It should result in some much more interesting bot lane fights because AD carries will be able to hurt each other much more often during the laning phase, and it could also make playing against assassins later on in the game a lot less frustrating too. Marksman champions will also have 4 less base attack, but an extra 0.7 attack gain per level, which means they'll quickly scale up to have a little bit more damage than before. This change will probably make you miss last hits for a few games after the patch hits, but you'll notice a lot more damage, or at least a little bit more damage in the mid to late game without any item changes. But speaking of item changes, there are of course going to be a lot of item changes, which is why the base stats are essentially being changed to begin with. Starting with Infinity Edge, probably one of the biggest ones, is no longer going to give any critical strike chance. Instead, it will simply double your current already existing crit chance, so it's not really going to work as a first purchase anymore. On top of that, instead of giving higher damage critical strikes, some of your crit damage will instead be converted to true damage, so tanks will be a little bit easier to kill once you've picked up your Infinity Edge in future patches. This also means the removal of Cloak of Agility from the Infinity Edge build path. It's now going to build out of 2 BF swords. Essence Reaver as well will no longer give any crit chance, and it will refund based on your missing mana instead of your maximum mana as well. Instead of the reduced cooldown based on crit chance, the new passive effect will grant a bonus attack speed after casting your ultimate, with each attack refunding a bit of your non-ultimate cooldowns. So it's kind of going to work as a Spellslinger AD carry item. If I had to guess, the Essence Reaver change is going to be the one that affects the meta the most because it's such a strong item, and all sorts of other YouTubers are making tons of videos about the new Essence Reaver on the PBE, so it's definitely something that you want to watch out for. Next up, we've got Lord Dominic's Regards, which will now punch through base armor as well as bonus armor, though it won't deal more damage against enemies with more health than you. The build path will also be changed too, as Giant Slayer is being retired alongside its passive effect. Guardian Angel as well will be giving more attack damage and armor, building out of a chain vest instead of cloth armor. Bloodthirster will be cheaper to build, and Blade of the Rune King will also be cheaper to build. There are also a few better stats being given to Maw of Malmortius, though the shield will no longer scale with magic resistance, not that it really did anything for AD carries anyway. We'll also be seeing a new marksman item being released called Storm Razor, which is going to build out of a BF sword, a pickaxe, and a dagger. It will provide attack damage and attack speed, and if you haven't attacked recently, the passive effect will give you a free critical strike on your next basic attack. After every critical strike, you'll be granted a short burst of attack speed and movement speed, so it's going to be a new kiting item that marksman mains could potentially really enjoy using. I'm definitely excited to mess around with this one, and of course there's a bunch of other minor changes here and there for other AD carry items that aren't necessarily too exciting. Next up, we've also got some of the developer thoughts on the current state of support champions. As you guys know by now, the mid-season update is actually going to be pretty heavily focused on marksman champions, so it makes sense that we should expect changes to support characters as well. They're kind of just targeting bot lane. We're expecting that the support changes, though, might actually happen after the mid-season patch, which is going to be 8.11, and the support changes will happen on 8.12 or 8.13. Riot Meddler didn't inform us to the exact changes that would happen with the support role, but he did give an overview of the different things that Riot is looking at that we could potentially go over. First up, they're looking at the health and shield stats, which was introduced back when supports were receiving a lot less gold than other roles. These things give support a lot of power because it essentially multiplies base stats rather than working as a separate ratio like ability power, and this can make it quite difficult to tune it for different support champions here and there. Of course, it's not going to be removed at this point, but Riot will definitely be looking at which items should be offering it, whether it should only work on an ability by an ability basis, meaning some abilities won't necessarily benefit from it, or if they just need to gate it behind higher gold costs. Which of course also ties into another issue that's actually a really big part of the support role, which is item efficiency. A lot of classes that can benefit from support items really like to build them because there's a lot of really cheap, really efficient items designed to be played with as a support champion, because there's a lot of really cheap items designed to allow the low income support role to be able to still get relevant items and reach power spikes throughout a game. Since Riot have been working on giving supports a more equal share of gold, some of these super cheap items might need to be repriced for balance purposes because they're becoming just a little bit too efficient. This would also help ensure that other classes can't also pick up those dirt cheap support items and use them to dominate the early game, which has definitely been a major issue in the past. Riot also plans to look carefully at the reliability of different defensive tools, particularly for kiting champions like Lulu and Janna. The problem here is that there's kind of an inequality between how reliable an ability is when it's used as a defensive tool versus when an ability is used as an offensive tool. It's kind of risky to use Janna's Tornado as an offensive tool, as an engage tool, because you're kind of aiming the skill shot, the enemy has more distance between you and them to actually dodge the ability, and all things considered, it's just a lot more difficult and as a result becomes a lot more unreliable. But when you're using it to kite, when you're using it to peel, the enemies are coming straight towards you, so you can't really miss. So this usually makes it not worth the risk to use those abilities offensively, and can make it quite frustrating to play against, because if you're going to dive an enemy backline that has a Janna, 100% of the time she's going to be saving her tornado for you. So Riot are looking at ways to add more risk and more skill expression to some abilities, and potentially rewarding players that use those abilities in a little bit of a riskier way. So Riot Meddler gave the example of shorter shield durations or other timing demands for things like redemption, or maybe adding more contextual demands to some abilities. So that kind of refers to stuff like percent missing effects or giving bonuses just after an ally has been damaged. The goal is kind of to put a little bit more skill, but also a little bit more option into those defensive tools to reward players to use them more creatively, more offensively, and more skillfully, which should help make the support role a little bit more exciting while also making certain supports also less frustrating to deal with. Those champions will still have the opportunity to peel by using their abilities defensively. By giving them the choice to make riskier plays means the enemy team will have a timing opportunity to potentially punish a misplay of a support player. Now moving away from the bottom lane, next up we've got some new fighter items that are being tested out. There are actually currently 2 items being worked on, though neither of them are guaranteed to release, but I definitely expect to see some sort of something happen because of all the changes that are happening to the AD carry items. Definitely going to affect the fighter roles, so they're kind of trying to mess around with the fighter items too. So one of the items is intended to provide resistance to ongoing damage in team fights, so it's kind of going to act as an alternative to Steric's Gauge, which plays a little bit more of an anti-burst damage role. The other item is a late game damage multiplier with a few defensive stats on top of it. The best comparison is something that's maybe like Titanic Hydra, but the new item isn't as restricted to auto attacks and area effect damage or melee champions either, so it should fill a different niche, particularly for more ability focused bruisers and fighters. Definitely keep you guys posted on those items. Hopefully the internal testing goes well and we get some more news on those in the future. Up next, we finally got some official details about some new runes coming to League of Legends, as well as some specifics too. So the mid-season update, of course, is going to have a ton of changes to runes with tweaks and even the removal of some runes like the Ultimate Hat rune. But there are currently 3 new runes that are actually being tested. The first is called Ultimate Hunter, which is one of the 2 new Ultimate Hat replacements. Instead of giving players free cooldown reduction just for casting their ultimate, Ultimate Hunter makes the process a little more difficult by forcing players to kill champions for the cooldown. The rune gives you Bounty Hunter stacks for the first time you kill each enemy champion, and those give you the extra 2% cooldown per stack. It essentially works like a rebalanced Ultimate Hat, though it won't be a good choice for more champions now, particularly supports who aren't often going to be picking up kills. There's also a new Domination Keystone rune called Hail of Blades, which provides between 50 and 100% bonus attack speed for the first 3 attacks on an enemy champion, while also at the same time letting you exceed the attack speed cap. And the last rune is Nimbus Cloak, another Ultimate Hat replacement that will be located in the same tree. The current version provides a 2-second movement speed increase after casting your ultimate, so it could potentially be pretty effective on mages that want to just instantly burst a target and then escape immediately. Of course, there's also a ton of other changes coming to runes in general, all sorts of tweaks and balance changes and all sorts of stuff. I didn't want to cover anything specifically because on the PB and what they've mentioned is kind of just what they're testing. So there's no real way to know what for sure is going to be rebalanced and changed until the actual patch notes are released. So definitely make sure you read the patch notes once the changes are finally official. Anyway, that's going to be it for today's video. There's a ton to process here, so hopefully you guys are a little bit better prepared for the upcoming changes. Seems like we're going to be due for a pretty heavy meta shift once these Marksmen changes finally go live. Either way, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.